Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Adam Unpacked. Today we're doing another weekly update on the 93 build and where we're at. This morning I'm just doing some simple mudding and drywall repair. So yeah, you can see I've got some nice drywall mud here and we're just slowly gonna lay that on like so and just fill in all these gaps here that we have when we removed the trim. We have some areas here that need to be filled in. And so the trick with drywall repair is once you have your drywall compound made, you want it this kind of nice toothpaste consistency. See that? It's almost like maybe like a pancake batter, but that's what you want. And then you always want to go way wider than you think, instead of just, taking a little trowel and just filling in a little divot or something like that, like you would, if you're dapping a wall. You always want to go 50, 60% more than you need and layer it up. So here we're going to actually do a couple layers. I'm going to do this one layer for now. I'm going to let that dry. And then I'm actually going to come back in a couple hours and I'll put another layer on. And what that does, especially anytime you have drywall, like paint peeling off the outer layer, you want to slowly layer it up and that'll basically trap that paint so it can't get away on you. But yeah, that's what I'm up to this morning. Later this afternoon, we are finishing some cabinet installations, getting our boxes in. So I will add that to this video and that will be the video for this week. Thanks for watching and just wanted to explain to you guys how you actually properly repair drywall. Easy work, takes a little bit of time, but you can very much do it yourself if you watch a couple YouTube videos. Cheers. Kids washroom, not much has changed here other than the fact that we finally have our glass rock up. So that's put in place and then we could drywall the top, again, mud and tape. But yeah, this is basically at the point now where it's ready to start laying tile down. So super exciting. Well, here we go. This is the finished product of the wall that I was drywall mudding earlier. So really not too terrible to do. And you can cover a lot of damage in a short period of time. Yeah. I mean, the real trick is layers, doing 2, 3, 4 layers just to kind of build a little bit of a layer on top of another layer. And then all of a sudden you have a decent foundation where that old paint and paper is not going to peel off on you. That's probably the most important thing. Well, there you go. Great day for some drywall repair and prepping the entire room behind me here for paint. Now let's go see the other rooms and the progress for this week. So again, the walk-in closet decided here because we had a textured wall, which I really don't like the textured walls that had that spackle texture. So we actually floated the entire room now. So yeah, behind me, this is all textured and then you float it. So you literally take drywall mud and plaster, and you just layer by layer by layer, you float it until you have a nice even wall. In hindsight, perhaps I would have ripped out all the old drywall and then maybe just put new drywall in, but we didn't do that. So this is still probably the most cost-effective option versus trying to grind texture off with a grinder and a vacuum, and then you still have to go in there with some mud and smooth it out. So this essentially just adds 2 more coats of mud. Not a huge issue. In my opinion, this was the way to go. Got some crazy hair going on today, but yeah, in my opinion, this was, the cheaper, more cost-effective alternative to get a bit of a better finish. But yeah, you can see it's really starting to come together. So, all right, let's go check out the master. So, what's changed in the master this week? Well, a few things. We have the tile done. Backsplash is now done in this room. So that's pretty sweet. Let me just throw on a light. So we have the subway tile all the way up. And we just have to mount a couple corner shelves in there. This shelf is complete. We just have to do the edges now. And the floor is also done. So that's all ready for grout. So basically all the tile in here has been laid down. The floor tile, the subway tile, the rocks at the bottom. And now we just need to grout everything. Everything has to be grouted, but it's pretty much set. So that's pretty cool. I just still love the veining of this floor. It looks phenomenal in my opinion. Yeah, not much has changed in here. Again, just doing some mudding and taping here to clean these edges up to make sure that that's all done and ready for paint. And yeah, I'm actually going to be installing a bidet here in the master. So my first bidet, but I've got a decent one that I've ordered that just arrived here the other day. So because we have an electrical plug here already, I can run an actual bidet with power, water, and, heated seat. And well, they build them with like power flush now as well. So you actually use quite a bit less water than the old systems. And because I have a plug here already, I didn't put that in. It was already here. It's almost like they built the house for bidets back in the day. I know that's a long sentence, but because of that, I'm going to take full advantage, try it out, see what gives. All right, guys, let's go check out the kitchen because, again, some exciting things happening over in that room. So, over in the kitchen, finally getting cabinets dropped in. So, our island bases have arrived. They've actually been positioned and centered. My light here, I've got this massive vaulted ceiling, and I have a very specific light that's going to go in here so I don't have to change the plug orientation. So we basically centered our island dead center of the kitchen light. And then we're going to have drawers and shelves here, obviously on the left-hand side. And so, yeah, we want to get these all in place, fastened down securely. We want to make sure that the wine fridge fits, which everything does so far. We've got some beautiful soft close drawers here, which are super cool. If you're going to build anything custom, just do it. You won't regret it. We've actually done the same thing here on our old drawers. Up here are cabinets. We actually put in these Dutch soft close. So these are the ones that we repurposed, restained from the original build. But again, soft close, phenomenal. Doesn't get old. Yeah, it costs a few extra dollars to do now, but you certainly won't regret it down the road. So very exciting. The rest of the cabinets are here outside. The boxes, I should say, are here. The kicks, the boxes. Hopefully we're going to get those in this week. We were supposed to get them in today, Sunday, but that just didn't happen with manpower. And then next Saturday, we're going to be installing the big cabinet here as well. So that'll be brought in and installed. That'll support our wall. So that's pretty sweet. And then hopefully a week after that, we will get our kitchen ripped out in a day and new cabinets and boxes installed here. So we can get this all done in one day. Disconnect the plumbing, the drain, rip this thing out. That'll take a couple hours, install everything new, done. And then here we're going to put a different kick and then redirect this piping out, but hard to explain on a video. I'll show you that probably in next week's video. But yeah, things are progressing nicely here. Kind of cool to see this island room take shape. And this also allows us, once these are completely in and installed, we can then reach out to our granite company and start ordering the countertops. That'll take about 3 weeks turnaround time. And then in the meantime, my tiler guy can come in here and start to tile this kitchen floor. So yeah, this is kind of the first step of completing the kitchen, actually. We've only been doing gutting and remodeling, whereas now we're actually finally doing some final reassembly, which is pretty exciting. And yeah, the last piece of the puzzle is going to be this half bathroom here as well. Again, textured wall, not ideal. So as an experiment, I sanded some here as well. Like I actually sanded the texture off. You can see it here. And then here I sanded it, thinking we'd be good to paint, but you can see it's actually still super patchy and abrasive because there's layers of paint on here. So again, I think it's actually just more cost effective just to load all this with brand new mud. And I don't know, in my opinion, it seems to be better. So here I did float one layer already. So I have one layer of mud on here. So you can see it's already pulling back off the texture. So basically 3 layers and we should be good. But yeah, anyways, that concludes, the series of the 93 build. So super cool. Things are progressing. Pretty excited. Again, we'll do another update next week. Hopefully by then we have more of the kitchen reassembled. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. And I hope you're enjoying this series. Cheers.